Hey everybody, just wanted to bring everyone up to speed on our takeaways from last week. We were in Genesis 40 and 41. Joseph is in prison. No matter where he goes, he seems to do exceptionally well, and that's because he's a hard worker, he's diligent, and he has not forgotten who God is. And so he finds himself in charge of all the other prisoners, kind of like the number two to the warden. And during his time there, we have two people who actually worked for Pharaoh, and they fell into displeasure with him, and he put him into the palace prison, his chief baker and his cupbearer. And these two guys, they have the same night, looks like they have some very disturbing dreams, and so they bring those to Joseph. Joseph's like, "What are you guys looking so down about?" They say, "Hey, we had these dreams, we don't know what it means." He interprets the dream. Of course, the baker, he tells him, "Your dream means you're going to be executed by Pharaoh in 3 days. And cupbearer, you're going to be restored to your position in 3 days." And he says, "Listen, do me a favor, please mention my name and my situation to Pharaoh." Clearly, Pharaoh hadn't put him in prison. That was done by Potiphar, and it was for something he hadn't done. And Potiphar probably saw this as a way to appease his wife, another false allegation that Joseph had tried to rape her. And so Joseph is asking the cupbearer, "Hey, listen, please bring my situation before Pharaoh and ask him to free me so I can go back home with my family." So the cupbearer leaves. Everything is as Joseph predicted, and the baker was executed in 3 days. The cupbearer was restored to his position, and the Bible says he never thought about Joseph again. Here's one of our first takeaways, and that is this. When someone asks you to do something, especially someone who is maybe beneath your social position in life, try and get it done. It obviously will mean more to them than it means to you. So try and your best to get that thing done. It would have meant the world to Joseph, but it's at least 2 more years before Joseph is actually called up. We know the story says that now Pharaoh has had some dreams and they're disturbing, and that's when the cupbearer remembers Joseph, and he tells Pharaoh, "Listen, there's this guy you need to go talk to. He told me what my dream meant, and he can probably help you with yours." And so Pharaoh sends Joseph, and the word says Joseph didn't go right away. It says that he actually shaved himself, washed himself, he puts on clean clothes. And here's our next takeaway is they say if you're going to go to a job interview, dress for the job you're shooting, right? Here's Joseph going in front of Pharaoh. He doesn't go dressed any kind of way. He goes dressed ready to impress, and nothing flashy, nothing special, but he went clean cut and dressed because he was going in front of Pharaoh and he wanted to put his best foot forward. So many times, and here's the takeaway, so many times we just leave the house looking any kind of way. If you've flown recently or taken public transportation or just gone to the grocery store, you see people who look like they just got out of bed and walked to the store. Whatever, they're in pajamas. Their hair is under some kind of bonnet or things like that, where people truly are not trying to put their best foot forward and making an impression when they go out. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to come across. What opportunities could come your way, and your visual appearance could be the thing that stands between you and something magnificent. So Joseph goes in front of Pharaoh, and he actually tells him the dreams mean, and Pharaoh's impressed. Had Joseph gone in there dressed like a prisoner, Pharaoh may have taken the advice, but he certainly probably would not have elevated Joseph to the position he did, and that was to the number 2 position in the whole kingdom. So Joseph wakes up that morning, and he's a prisoner. He's not thinking anything else about that day. Just another day, waking up doing prisoner stuff, being in charge, working hard, and planning to go to bed as a prisoner. But he wakes up a prisoner, he goes to bed in the palace, and God has actually moved him along that path, and it's because he was positioned and he was ready to do it. So always put your best foot forward, always look your best, because you never know who you're going to encounter in a particular day. That's all I got for this week. Just a couple of takeaways. Things are going to get even more interesting now because we find out that famine has hit Egypt, and that Joseph has positioned Egypt to survive this famine. And the Bible says people came from everywhere to buy grain, not from Egypt, but the Bible says they came from everywhere to buy grain from Joseph. So we'll see what's happening in the next two chapters. I'll see you on Wednesday night for our study. Take care.